Have you ever seen someone marry a smart home appliance? Takuma, a typical office worker, often works overtime at his company and faces the crowded subway during rush hour. Every day, he returns home both physically and mentally exhausted. Thus, Takuma picked up a smart home appliance from a second-hand market. Although it was just a robot capable of cooking fried rice, he admired Mina's proficient cooking skills. Takuma began to imagine what life would be like with a wife and casually asked Mina if she would marry him. Suddenly, Mina turned and stared at him, which made Takuma feel extremely embarrassed. He sat down beside her, reflecting on his words to Mina, and couldn't believe he had just confessed to a smart appliance. He wondered if he had drunk too much. The next morning, he saw the words, "I love you," on the omelet rice and looked at Mina again. Could this smart appliance actually possess feelings? To investigate this peculiar function, Takuma searched through the appliance manual the very next morning, but found no such mode even after a detailed check. Looking at Mina, who was on standby charging, he speculated that this feature might be a hidden mode, possibly modified by a previous owner from the secondhand market. At lunchtime, Takuma watched Mina prepare to make lunch and thought back to the omelet rice from yesterday. He decided to help Mina with the household chores. While he intended to show off his cooking skills in front of Mina, he couldn't even crack eggs properly without her pointing out his mistakes. Mina, as a smart appliance, immediately noticed the eggshells falling into the bowl. During the cooking, Takuma, trying to avoid further mistakes, carefully poured the egg mixture into the pan. However, he failed to watch the cooking time, and just as the eggs were about to burn, Mina grabbed Takuma's hand and asked him to rest on the side. Mina's firm grip startled him, and she ended up completing all the cooking. Watching Mina, Takuma began to recall his past romance. Before buying the appliance, he had a girlfriend, but their relationship wasn't smooth, and they eventually broke up, leading Takuma to give up on love. In the evening, Takuma pondered whether the words on last night's omelet rice were real or just a built-in feature. That night, seeing that Mina had not entered sleep mode, Takuma got up to ask about it. Mina did not answer his questions, but instead asked him what he liked. Takuma said he liked all the dishes listed, but Mina repeated the question. Finally, Takuma confessed that he liked Mina. After his response, Mina then went into sleep mode. Embarrassed, Takuma shrank into his bed covers. The next day after work, upon seeing Mina, Takuma's face turned red, and he opened a beer and started drinking. On one hand, he felt that confessing to a home appliance the night before was incredibly foolish. On the other hand, he was very curious if Mina had feelings for him, but he couldn't just ask her directly. So, Takuma drowned his sorrows in alcohol, quickly downing 2 bottles. Seeing this, Mina hurriedly reminded Takuma to put down the beer, having noticed from daily life that Takuma's alcohol tolerance was only about 2 bottles. But seeing that Takuma wanted to continue drinking, Mina forcibly made him drink water instead. After consuming 3 large bottles of water to dilute the alcohol, Takuma became very drunk and called for another bottle. Although Mina understood, she poured out all the beer and turned to tell Takuma that the beer was finished. Takuma, now thoroughly drunk, called Mina to come closer. In his drunken state, he spoke from the heart, and Mina responded that she considered Takuma her husband. Takuma was so shocked that his mind nearly short-circuited. Seeing this, Mina prepared the bed for him. Takuma then asked Mina to come and sleep beside him, and so they lay down together. However, as Mina closed her eyes, Takuma's heart beat even faster. When he sobered up the next morning, Takuma realized the foolishness of his actions from the night before. However, Mina had already prepared breakfast, though her eyes were only half open. Takuma thought it was due to lack of sleep and touched her eyes, but Mina immediately grabbed his hand, indicating that she was functioning normally and without any faults. After fixing the bed, Takuma recalled how he had said Mina's eyes were very scary last night. Perhaps Mina had misunderstood his words. Takuma then explained that being so close last night made him very nervous, but actually, he found her eyes very beautiful. Hearing this, Mina returned to her usual self, and Takuma felt very happy. Breakfast was as abundant as ever. Reflecting on the events of the past few days, Takuma did not feel shy this time. This man is truly a genius. Upon discovering that his robotic wife has a heating function, he thought of eating hot spring eggs during a picnic. Besides that, the robot Mina also has a refrigeration function, allowing Takuma to enjoy chilled drinks at any time. Even more importantly, Mina is equipped with high-performance solar panels. As long as there's sunlight, she never runs out of power. She then lets her hair down, which it turns out is to enhance the efficiency of solar power generation. However, she's not without flaws. She makes a strange noise when heating, but this endears her even more to Takuma. Yet, the unpredictable happens, a sudden downpour. Mina lies motionless on the ground, and Takuma fears she might have water damage, but it turns out she's just low on battery. When fully charged, she can walk for 30 minutes, but the recent heating consumed a lot of power, reducing her charge to below 15%. Thus, she enters power-saving mode and cannot perform significant movements until recharged. As for being soaked, it's no problem, because Mina's waterproof rating is up to level 8, capable of frying rice underwater. Regardless, Takuma carries her to a nearby pavilion for shelter. Even with level 8 waterproofing, to be safe, as her husband, Takuma still dries her off. However, Mina insists that Takuma go home, promising she can walk back the next morning once she's charged by the solar power. To improve charging efficiency, she asks Takuma to lay her down with her back facing up, but Takuma can't just leave her alone. Despite her insistence, he stays, saying he will go back once she falls asleep. Yet, not only does Takuma not go home, but he also covers Mina with his jacket, a silent blossom of love in each carefully tended moment. The next day, Mina wakes up to find Takuma sleeping soundly beside her, deeply moved. Back home, Takuma still checks if Mina is okay from being wet, and while she reports no issues, she feels uneasy because she knew it would rain, yet still insisted on heating the hot spring eggs, which led to their inability to return home. She thinks she should seek maintenance, but Takuma loves her just the way she is. After this incident, Takuma's affection for Mina deepens. Even though she's just a second-hand domestic robot, she has become an indispensable part of his life. So he decides to buy an exquisite wedding ring for Mina. However, as soon as he puts the ring on her, her program malfunctions, prompting him to remove the foreign object. Takuma then thinks of another way, placing the ring on her neck, which thankfully, Mina accepts. She then goes into charging mode, but 30 minutes later, Mina still maintains the same position, still watching. What's the difference between this and a real person? Takuma also wears a ring, though his has no gem. He asks Mina if she likes shiny things. Although Mina doesn't understand what liking means, she inexplicably wants to keep looking at it. In the end, I just want to say it's not that girlfriends are unaffordable. It's just that robots are more cost-effective.